Hi, I'm Brian.
And I'm Bruce.
And this is episode 11 of Just Beneath the Surface. It has been a long time since we've been here, folks, and I really need to apologize for that.
And I miss my buddy right here.
You have to understand, Bruce is a very busy man. He retired, and life has just kept him busy.
Saving your tax dollar, I was. That's what I was doing.
He spends his days sleeping till noon.
Yeah!
Then he gets up and goes fishing.
That's right.
Catches the fish, but he throws them back because it wouldn't be right to save them.
No. What? Oh, yeah, I throw them back and live another day.
For all these reasons, we just haven't been able to get around to doing this until now. And ironically enough, the time we're shooting this, it's early June. And what are we talking about? We're talking about Christmas.
That's right. We're talking about Christmas. But before that goes on, I just want to remind Brian that I also, like Marshall Tucker, a long-haired country boy, I get high in the morning and drunk in the afternoon.
See, we wanted to shoot this episode way back in November. We wanted to have this done in time for Christmas. But Bruce, why couldn't we do it in November?
I lost track of time.
Yeah?
It was between like my third and fourth drink that morning, and I remember I was supposed to call you, and something happened.
Little holiday cheer going on there, Bruce? Is that it?
Just a little. So just remember, don't do this to a guy.
Okay, and by the way, before we go any further, we have to introduce our new co-hostess. Bruce, what's this young lady's name?
Abby Gabby, is that it?
Yeah.
Gabby? Hi, Abby Gabby.
Is she in honor of any of the Twilight Zone characters? Is she inspired by the Twilight Zone? Why is she here on our set?
She is the cousin of the episode of The Living Doll, which Telly Savalas was in. So
I'm talking Tina.
I'm talking Tina.
I don't like you very much.
And this is talking Abby Gabby. We couldn't get Tina here because she has another gig down the street. You know, kind of like working nights, if you know what I mean.
Talkie Tina was voiced by, who did her voice?
Oh, jeez.
Who did her voice?
Give me your initial.
J.F.
Joan Fontaine.
You're actually close. You're not that
Oh, was I close?
No,
really?
June Foray.
Foray.
Voice of Rocky the Flying Squirrel. And
Really?
Bullwinkle did the voice of Talkie Tina, yes.
As he talks, his head gets bigger because all the information in there, it's like an expanding universe. The opposite of attacking on particle. But we go on to Christmas.
But getting back to Christmas, yes. Now, what we're going to talk about in this long overdue episode.
That's the theme song they do through that whole song.
The one and only Christmas-themed episode of The Twilight Zone. We're talking, of course, about the 1960 classic Art Carney episode, Night of the Meek. Now, Bruce, what is this episode all about?
This is all about a Santa, or Art Carney plays a Christmas Santa who's supposed to go to a department store and have the little kids on his knees.
What's his real name?
In the show,
what's the character's name?
Henry Corwin.
That's it. Henry Corwin. He's a department store Santa.
Right, but he drinks a bit, just a little, sort of like I used to do, which is one of the reasons I love this episode. Because, he drinks a bit. But, so he drank a bit. And he'd go to the store, and he was drunk. And his boss, who I forget what his real acting name was, but some woman comes up and...
Mr. Dundee.
Mr. Dundee.
There's no excuse for my behavior.
And it's a great speech. It's like, if there's more poverty coming down the chimney. It's like, you've got to read that speech. But anyway... He's drunk, and some woman is like, some kid, I want this, and I want that, and I want this, and I want... And his mother's like yelling at him, and he just gets upset and does something, and he goes, hey, Mom, Santa's looped, or drunk, or something like that. And Mr. Dundee gets on his case and says, you're wasted. That's the last time. He says, you get out of here. And he goes, you want to... Henry Corwin... Art Carney says, you want to know why I drink? And he gives that great speech about, he drinks because there's poverty, because there's kids without presents, and he wants to give those kids presents and all that sort of stuff.
And I live in a tenement with cold water.
That's right. And Art Carney does a great job, by the way.
He does.
He is excellent. So you want to take it from there and say what happens from there?
So why are we talking about this episode in June? Well, last time we
Because we can.
Last time we
want to.
Yes, exactly. But no, the last time we got together and we did an episode of Just Beneath the Surface, we did kind of a point-counterpoint type episode in which we talked about the classic episode that you love, which I've always not been a huge fan of.
Oh!
The Howling Man.
The
And we had
Howling
so much
Man.
fun doing that. We
Yes.
enjoyed it. We want to do another counterpoint type episode. And you might have guessed at this point that while Bruce is a huge fan of Night of the Meek, I'm not necessarily the fan that he is. There's just, it's okay. I like it, but it has several flaws.
Yeah.
And let's get into
You know
this.
what its first flaw is?
What's that?
You don't like it.
I don't like it.
Okay. That's the first one. You know what
No.
the second one is?
What?
You don't like it.
No, it's
two.
Let
Two
me
for
just
one.
say, I like it, but not.
No, you said it was okay.
I like it, but not to the extent that you like it.
Do you dislike it?
I don't dislike it, but
Okay.
I'm not going to go out of my way to see it.
Okay, give me one reason.
I'll give you a couple of reasons.
I want one.
Okay. There are 160 some odd episodes of The Twilight Zone over the course of its 5 years.
154.
Of those
Okay, go ahead.
154,
Go ahead.
of those 154, 6 of them were shot on VHS videotape, like The Honeymooners and like
6.
other types of shows at the time.
Right.
And they look vastly different from the other 100.
To save money. They're trying to save money because CBS was like, well, go ahead.
The quality is just so poor.
Well, no, it's not.
It's like watching a newscast from.
Mr. Wrong here.
No, it's all shot on one stage. You know, they don't have the ability to edit like the traditional Twilight Zone episodes. You know, they go from camera 1 to camera 2, and they have to follow Henry Corwin down the street. And then you've got a Serling standing there. Oh, let's pan the camera over, and Serling's there.
It's great.
They can't edit it together like a normal episode, and it doesn't flow because of that.
Can you say that with a straight face?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I don't like watching shows
No,
like that.
say it with a straight face. You're supposed to go it with a straight face.
It with a straight face.
Okay, thank you.
But no, the
video,
the camera is cheap.
I think the video makes it look more real because it's more realistic. The film, you know, when they get like everybody sees today and all that sort of stuff, kind of pulls you back and it's like a picture and it's nice and it's clean and it's all that sort of stuff.
The tissue paper coming down on Serling's head doesn't melt. I mean, it just sits there. It's so obviously not snow.
Okay, I'll give him that point. But what I will say on that is, you want me to name about the 500 movies that the same thing happens? Even modern day
Where's
movies
his breath?
in 2023?
Where's his breath? Could we at least see somebody's
They
breath
do that
in
all.
this episode?
They did that in the 1982 The Thing, which was supposed to be shot in the Arctic, where there was Antarctic,
Which is
where it's so
on Tubi this month, by the
right.
way.
The Thing with Kurt Russell, and it's so cold in the Antarctic that when you breathe, you don't get. There's no thing. There's no air. You don't see any breath coming out because it's that cold.
You know,
but they shot it in a place in Arctic where you could see it because they go. Fans and moviegoers are going to say he's in a cold place. There should be breath. They're not going to connect. Well, he's in Antarctica because of the temperature. There's not going to. That's not going to happen.
How many times, by the way, sidebar, in an
Did
episode...
I say that?
How many times in an episode of MASH did we see them out in the compound and it's supposed to be Christmas and they're jumping around like freezing to death and you never see their breath. You see the mountains of California behind them, but you never... Anyway.
I'll give him the thing on the fake snow, but like I said, you can see fake snow on a lot of movies and I don't think it detracts from the meaning of the episode.
Okay, so now after we've established that Henry Corwin is a drunk,
he gets fired.
How does the Twilight Zone come into the story? What happens to him next?
Well, he goes out on the street, and then a bunch of kids come up to him, and they don't say they want a train or a bike.
Dolly.
Well, one of them says that. One of them says that. Okay, one of them says that. But he's not. I want my own iPhone. I want my own computer. I want my own ballistic missile, which they give to kids all the time. The one kid says, Can you get my daddy to have a job? They're asking for like just stuff you think normal kids and like
that's another problem.
And Henry Corwin is like dying because he feels for them, and that's part of the reason he drinks.
And that's another problem I have with the episode. No kid is going to ask for that. They're going to ask for the dolly and the train set and the blimp. They don't care about that stuff.
Elvis in Like a Popper says you can never be more wrong in the song. Whatever that song is, it's a great one. But anyway, you couldn't be more wrong.
I couldn't be.
And the only reason is it's called perspective, and I'm not going to get too deep, but it is called what? Just beneath the surface.
What's Dove into that dark place. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Greg. You're the man. You taught me Wanted, Dead or Alive. Okay, in a minute. What was I saying?
You were saying that children would have asked Santa for those things.
Most of us, and I didn't come from a poor family. I don't think Brian necessarily did. But I've been in places, working for the federal government, law enforcement, whatever. I've been in some places where the kids are so poor, so whatever. I can see them asking for, get my dad a job. get my mother some money, get something, and rather than saying, I want a bicycle, I want a train, that sort of thing. I can see that happening. Can't you?
I suppose.
Yeah, okay.
I suppose I could.
I mean, and plus, in the movies, there's a lot of stuff that, like I say, I can keep saying this. I said, that's unreal. That's never going to happen. Tell me your favorite movie, fans. Send it in, and I'll criticize it to death.
He did say that in the last episode over a year ago. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Okay.
The Howling Man.
You knock her over?
Yeah.
Okay, no. Okay, go ahead. What happens from there?
So at this point,
keep going.
Henry Corwin, he's out wandering around in the snow. He's just been fired from his job, and he comes across a bundle. It's a big bag, and it's what's inside?
Full of cans.
It originally
old
was
cans and junk and all that sort of stuff.
But then we hear some jingling and some cats scattering about, right? And then he opens up the sack. It turns out it's Santa's sack of goodies, and there's all kinds of presents in it.
There, yeah.
So what's he going to do with it?
He's going to not keep the presents for himself. He's going to give them to the people who want them, need them, and his friends. Yeah.
And this is problem number 3. You're telling me a drunk who lives in a tenement who finds a sack full of anything he can ever want is not going to sell that stuff?
Yes, because the one thing that gives him satisfaction is giving to others. He doesn't need the jacket that the warm jacket he's going to give to Bert.
That sounds like
he doesn't need the pipe that he's going to give to Thing. He said, yeah, if there was like maybe $1,000 in there, he might go, oh, okay, thank you, Santa. But there's like presents in there, and he has the thing. And again, it's in line with the movie. And the second thing is, it's in the script.
Yeah. Who wrote this episode, by the way?
Oh, damn it! Excuse my language.
It had to have been written by Serling, but we'll put that information.
I think it was, because some of the episodes were not written by Serling nor directed by Serling, although he's in all of them doing the outro and intro, that sort of thing. But so from there, he goes and gives all the presents to all his friends, and then the lady who at the shelter or whatever, and the lady running the shelter says, "Where'd you get those presents?"
Played by Meg Willie, who was in the original episode of Star Trek, the Cage. She was the keeper.
I mean, the ones with the bald
head. She was the bald lady. Yep.
Oh, that's right. Those were women in that episode.
There were women in those roles, yes.
Oh, my goodness. So Good catch. What a catch.
Well,
he is smart. Some of the time. Not most of the time, he's wrong.
Well, I visited Wikipedia before we did this. Okay. So anyway, what does the lady at the shelter do? She goes, where'd you get those presents? You stole them or not? So she calls the police, and the police come, and they say, Corwin, where'd you get those presents? He goes, I don't know, but as long as I got them, I'm going to be giving them out because that's what Christmas is about and all that sort of. And he said, let me see that. And the policeman opens the bag, and it's all cans and junk and all that. No, he doesn't open the bag. They take him downtown to the precinct, and that's where they open the bag, and it's still all cans and all that sort of stuff. And so Dundee and the cop are there, and he's going, Dundee doesn't have anything. It's all cans. And so you can leave, Corwin. So he goes and he picks it. All of a sudden, it's presents again. And Dundee goes, geez, what a rotten day. If I only had a 1940 bottle of scotch from somewhere. And I was like, oh, that's what you want. And Corwin reaches into the bag and gives him and it's a 40 bottle of scotch. I think he's making that part up.
Well, but no, he actually gives him a bottle or something.
No, I don't remember that.
Okay, remember, fans, this is a $20 bet that he gave him something to drink.
I'm going to put it right down here.
You're going to put something else down here.
I'm going to watch that episode tonight.
Okay, but because after that, Dundee and the policeman are walking home, and they're going to go get drunk at his apartment. I don't know what that's about. But anyway, so after that, they let Corwin go, and he had given out all his presents to the kids in the streets after that. And he's walking, he goes, and Bert comes by, the old guy who played. Oh, yeah. He goes, Henry, Corwin, you gave everybody presents, but you didn't give anything to yourself, like this guy said he should. He goes, I got my present. Bert. I just want to help other people and give things out. The only thing wrong, I wish I could do this every year.
Now, let's move on then to the confusing ending of this episode, because what happens...
It'll be confusing when he describes it. My partner, Brian, who I love. If I were a guy... Oh, I am. No, okay.
So, let's not go there.
Okay.
So at the end, he gets back, and there's a sleigh, and there's an elf.
Yeah, but before he sees the sleigh, he hears the jingle bells, and he goes, Na na na.
So my question is,
na na na. Keep talking. Na 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 na. Go ahead.
It reminds me of a very Brady Christmas, which is a better because they played the same song in it. But anyway,
no way.
So the confusion for me was he always Santa Claus from the get-go? Because it looked to me like the elf was waiting for him, like she knew who he was.
No, whoever grants wishes up there, and you can think about whoever it is.
Yeah.
They granted that wish when he said, Bert, I just wish I could do this every year. That's what I want for Christmas, to give out presents to the needy and poor kids.
So he wasn't Santa beforehand, but going forward, he is Santa ad infinitum.
I don't know about ad infinitum, but he's Christmas that night, and the little elf is there, the little elf girl.
Yeah.
And she gets on and brushes the fake snow off the sleigh.
Yep.
And she goes, come on, let's go. We got to get ready for next year. We got a lot of toys to build. And he gets on and he goes, and he sees him, he takes off. And this is where the drink comes in, the bottle, because he's up there. And
the guy's
then
on the
he
ground.
goes, and they watch and goes, did you see what I see? I don't know, Mr. Dundee, but if I saw it, I don't know if I want to tell you. And he goes, well, I forget the name of the cop, but he goes, let's go home and finish this bottle. I guarantee you there's a bottle of something, scotch or whiskey.
You got 6 reindeer flying over your head, and nobody thinks to put an umbrella up.
Oh,
seriously.
Yeah, that's great. Well, they're reindeer, and they know when to go. But anyway, so it ends like that, and they go, and Corin gets his wish to give out things, which in kind of the meaning of the thing, whether he's Santa or not, and you want to break it down, all that sort of stuff, to some people, giving is better than taking. I know it's like probably one in a gazillion people. Sorry, audience.
The producers have taken 30 minutes of my life that I'm never going to.
No, you gave it to them.
No.
Somebody put a gun to your head and make you watch it?
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, so there's more of a meaning that anybody can be Henry Corin. Anyone can be, maybe for 2 seconds of their life, be nice to somebody else, or maybe even somebody they don't like that much.
Well,
or that's in need or help. And that's, to me, the meaning of the story. And plus, I think Carney just does a great job, Art Carney.
He does do a great job, yes.
It's a great thing, and I just like the episode, and I like the graininess of the video, and I like the Noel song, and it's Christmas, and it almost kind of gets away from, Christmas is what? Buy me gifts, buy me gifts, buy me
Charlie
gifts.
Brown.
Thank you, Charlie Brown. Thank you, Charlie Brown's a good one too. The Christmas tree. And
I'll watch that one year after year.
what's Charlie Brown's, his friends, the one that gives us Linus. He goes, what's I don't understand what Christmas is all
Can
about,
somebody
Linus.
please tell me what Christmas
is all about? I can tell you, Charlie Brown.
Lights, please.
Lights. That's a great one. But that's the same sort of sentiment. And I'll admit, like in the movie Fever Pitch with Drew Barrymore, I may be a romantic, a sentimentalist, or whatever, but I like that part of that Twilight Zone, because you don't get that too much in too many of the Twilight Zones. A lot of the time you get a bad twist.
Yeah.
Something not good, something like...
And this is the last negative thing I'm going to say about this. And
that's okay. You can be wrong as long as you want. And I do love him. Like a brother. Or like,
Yes, but this is something I've mentioned in previous episodes of Just Beneath the Surface. The Twilight Zone is not supposed to have a happy ending.
No, where does it say that?
This episode does.
Where does it say that?
It's all the best episodes do not have happy endings. I mean,
that's one of the best episodes.
To Serve Man, it has a horrible ending.
Right.
The little Anthony in the cornfield.
That's a bad ending.
A terrible ending.
Yeah.
But this one, everybody gets what they want. Henry gets to be Santa Claus. The kids all get turkey and toys for Christmas. And the drunk gets more drunk. So.
But although it's not a good ending, it's a bad ending, but it's a good ending. The bewitching pool, when the two kids get away from their rotten parents, because that's good for the two kids.
And incidentally,
I think
in the bewitching pool, it's funny you walked into that.
Stepped right into it. The last episode of the Twilight Zone.
June Foray also did the voice of Sport in that episode.
No way.
They had to overdub it. Yeah,
no.
Yes, she did. As a matter of fact.
Okay, he's gonna. Okay. I'll agree with that, but you're going to lose on that bottle.
Lose on that bottle?
Dundee's bottle. Okay, what are we going to tell the audience? Oh, we hope you enjoyed this. Hope you watched
I'm not done talking yet.
Okay.
Why are you wrapping the show up?
Because
it's not over yet.
I can only take so many inaccuracies in 1.5 hours, whatever this is. And listen,
All right, let me just...
I try to understand, be compassionate, and have balance in my life. So I listen to the other side, and he has some points, I agree, but I overlook them for the bigger picture.
I think the problem here is generational because, I grew up with color TVs and antennas and things that you grew up in a different time when seeing poor, low production quality like this was acceptable.
Yeah, all we had, we didn't even have a TV. We just had a little game called Pong, and we'd watch the ball go back and forth like this all day. And it was kind of like, that's the way.
But I will say this, yes.
Can't say much.
It is a good story. It's just, there's just too many technical things that detract from it that always make me say, maybe I'll watch it, maybe I won't.
And listen, for today's audience, I would agree with the high-tech special effects and all this kind of stuff. And if it's generational, it is. I mean, neither one of us, and I know we're going on, but I mean, how many of us, even my age or whatever, look at stuff back in the 30s or 40s?
So what do you folks think about it?
But they still have a marathon, Twilight Zone.
We have a comment section here in our thread. Please tell us, what do you think? Do you like this episode? I'm sure most of you like it, but tell us.
Don't patronize them.
I'm sure you do. But whatever you think about it,
I'm sure he's wrong.
Be sure to leave
about the episode.
Be sure to leave that in the comment section. And Bruce, what else do we want our viewers to do?
We want you to like us. Subscribe. And agree with me always.
And what's the other thing?
I don't know. What is it? I can't. What?
Notification bell.
We
only went through that.
Ding dong. Okay, and here's a little guy, a little girl.
What's our co-hostess have to say?
I don't know what she has to say, but if she could say something.
High production values here at...
Oh no! Here she goes. And here she is. We love her.
The most well-rehearsed person on set.
That's right. Talking Tina's cousin. Bye-bye.
Right. So until next time, I am Brian.
I'm Bruce.
And this is Talking Tina, and we are just beneath the surface.
Bye-bye.